Hey, I forgot to I do have an idea of what I want to at least do. It's actually a really old, or gosh dang it, I keep having this issue where sometimes it lags, sometimes it doesn't. It seems today is one of those days where it seems that my tech setup is going to lag a lot. Oh, look, it finally up. Okay, there we go. I have to constantly be checking on whether or not it's working or not, because sometimes this works a lot better than... basically, what I've been working with is Linux doing Linux things, and this is unfortunately one of the problems that I've constantly run into, which is just trying to make sure that... I'll be honest, I might have to reset my iPad again, because that is actually the best way I've done of this. I've been able to get this more consistently working, and I think I've disconnected and reconnected my iPad enough. Okay, never mind, it is... Sometimes it lags, sometimes it doesn't, and now it's lagging again. No, I don't know if that's just going to be a consistent issue, and it's at one of its lag phases again. Okay, I'm just gonna keep an eye on that. Sometimes it'll lag, sometimes it won't. It'll just be incredibly annoying either way. But I've just been messing around with other things. I disappeared for, I think, a week because I had to do stuff. I'm literally in finals, or not finals, midterms right now. I have one tomorrow. Most of them are coding related, so that'll be fun. But what I'm planning on working on is literally a piece I did a long time ago. I think it was, oh yeah, it was like 2 years ago. I don't think I have it on the asset rotator, or not my asset rotator, the little slideshow that I have for my starting in BRB screens. I actually probably should update those with some of the more recent things I've done, but what I'm working on is... Ooh, I can actually pull it up now, assuming it didn't it lagged out again. Gosh dang it. This process... I think I'm gonna have to reset my iPad again, because this is the only way I can think of fixing this issue. I think it's related to, like, a socket lag error that just causes it to... I don't know if it's because I mean, it should be theoretically a lot better considering that I'm the only thing, or the only person using my current network. Like, there, it just updated again. I'm moving it right now. I hate this. I mean, then again, what can you do? I'm dealing with UDPs. For those of you who don't know, UDP and network programming is basically what most live-streamed software relies on. The only reason why I even have this memorized is because I need to know it for the only Ow! I bit my tongue! Why? The only exam I have tomorrow is a network programming final. I need to know how... I need to remember how sockets function. Otherwise, I'm definitely going to fail all that, and I kind of don't want to. But basically, with how network sockets work is there are two main types, UDP and TCP. Video, or most live stream content and live feedback service games like first-person shooters, those rely more on things like UDP. Basically, they will, if they don't get data from wherever something is streaming from, it's just going to move on to whatever is next. TCP, it is going to ensure that you get whatever data was requested, so basically your video fully renders instead of having to wait for things to load. But Or basically, you can blame UDP for lag. Basically, the world will keep moving with or without you. With UDP, TCP, you're still going to get all your messages showing up in chat. You may get them late, but they are definitely going to get there, one way or another. And it seems that this is lagged out again. I mean, I will say that it is still kind of like better quality than what I was doing previously. I do have some money in the bank now, so I think over break I might look into getting a graphics card, or not a graphics card, a capture card that can handle Linux, which is one of the main reasons why I've just put off finding something, or at least finding a more permanent solution than literally relying on code I didn't even build myself. I mean, then again, most hardware is, then again, a lot of technology is looking at stuff people built and then understanding fully well that there is a high probability that sometimes it will just not work and you're going to have to figure out how to work around that. It's literally what I signed up for, and my software engineering teachers flat out told me, I don't care if you're doing design work for the chapel, you're going to figure out how to translate that into IT experience. And I cannot tell you how many times that I've also ended up somehow having to troubleshoot some other problem related to stream. Anyways, back to the character that I was kind of talking about. This was a character I kind of made a really long time ago because I was feeling like Snow Frost Queen vibes. And the only reason why I decided to go with that is because I'm pretty sure I spent at least an hour shivering in the cold, waiting for a bus to show up just so I could come back to my room and draw in the warmth. And I was scrolling through all my old art and I saw it's like, you know, I actually really like this design. Kind of sad that I never really reused it for anything. So here I am, reusing a design. But the other part of that is just because I kind of got a little stuck on what to draw, because while I do have like a ton of sketches, they're kind of only really things that I think make sense for stuff, for like roleplay related events. Unfortunately, I've not gone involved in many other ones as much as I would have liked to recently. But I'll just chalk that up to life doing life things. Well, I'll be honest, I probably should start thumbnailing my pieces more often, because while I do know who I want to draw, I don't really know what I want to do with it. I mean, I do have an idea of what I want to do. It's a stained glass art style that I've loosely been experimenting with. And there were some aspects about this character that I didn't feel particularly proud of. Main thing of which is just the hair kind of just felt very If this will update anytime soon, or if the video feed will update anytime soon, I can show you exactly which one I'm talking about. Because I don't know if it's a lag issue or if it's an AirPlay issue. It's still not loading. It's still stuck on that. Okay, here it is. This is the character I was talking about. I like the outfit. Up here is kind of just not really doing it for me. Also, I didn't know how to draw hands, so sue me. Actually, I don't have money. I only have barely enough to probably buy a new video capture card or mic. I don't know which I want to do, but since I'm primarily doing art stuff, I'm leaning more towards capture card. especially for eventually when I want to try doing a cooking stream. Although I don't even know what I do for a cooking stream. I only know how to cook a few. As much as I enjoy talking about cooking, I only know how to cook a few things, and most of those are tortillas and fried foods. And mashed potatoes and spaghetti. I don't even know what I do with all the food afterwards, because a lot of the things I end up making require quite a bit of downtime, so I guess I could draw while I'm doing that? I don't know. I mean, I think that's usually what I end up doing if I'm not playing a video game while doing it. Let's see. Although, one thing I will never understand why I did it is why I chose to give this character a boob window. I'm not kidding. I don't remember why. I think I was just following trends or something. But this is... The other thing I've also been messing around with is a brush that I kind of custom made more for me to just mess around with different styles, or at least a better sketch brush that is a bit more similar to the one that I use to sketch traditionally. I draw a snowflake. I don't even remember. I don't know, something like that. I'm pretty sure that's vaguely how you draw a snowflake. I don't know. All I know is that this week it snowed again. And I was very unhappy because I still had to go to class. A bunch of my friends had their classes canceled, so I still had to go. I mean, then again, like, well, it snowed yesterday. Part of why I was unhappy was because I had to get up early again, and I still end up being late to like my first class. And well, it's not a great feeling when. Meanwhile, I know of at least one other person who literally straight up skipped that class and flat out told us she wasn't coming. The thing is, the reason why I still had to be there was because we were literally practicing for stuff that was related to a research project that we really need to get moving on. Or at least, I mean, then again, we have been moving on it, it's just that we're waiting for more people to join as participants, if you will. No one ever said research was easy. Want this? Why did I draw the neck like so freaking thick? Almost reminded me of the time that I drew one of my friends who's decidedly not particularly thick, with really beefy shoulders. Why? I don't know. What I will say is that I think I ended up drawing more of my characters wearing corsets for no reason other than I spent who knows how long researching fashion from like the 1800s and corsetry in general. I mean, I've just been goofing. And I enjoy learning about random things. It's basically a personality trait at this point. I mean, then again, if you ask any of my professors, particularly the one who I'm currently taking one of my final honors classes with, my capstone honors class, you could say, it's basically a personality trait at this point for me to say, I view creativity as, like, another lens of, learning. One of my favorite questions I've ever been asked was, that question where they ask whether or not you'd prefer to be smart or creative, and I said like 100% creative. Because for me, that's just an excuse to learn more things on how things work. I literally learned how corsets are made for no reason other than, one, I was curious, and two, in my freshman year of college, someone literally convinced me to buy one after, or at least, she dragged me to a Renaissance, well, no. I already was volunteering to go to the Renaissance Festival because, one, they're fun, and two, I was here. I'd never been to one, so I was already planning on going to a Renaissance Festival. I went there with the club that I later became secretary of. I'm still secretary of that club. But basically, she ended up dragging me to this booth where they were selling corsets. I think she knew the guy who was... I think she knew the owner. I don't really know how she... I don't really know why. All I know is that next thing I know, I'm dropping like 100 and something bucks on a corset that I still wear to this day. Let me tell you, my backpack is heavy. And now that I know, and since I know how to wear this thing properly, it actually does not really hurt at all to wear. Anything, it actually kind of does help my posture, especially since most of the time I would be sitting hunched over in a chair, not even noticing how bad my posture is. But I can say it is quite comfortable, especially to draw in. The only place that I've found that it's really not comfortable drawn is when certain parts of my anatomy are halfway shoved in my face and I cannot get them out. But that is a completely separate issue. It's been a problem regardless of whether or not I've had this thing. And I don't see that disappearing anytime soon, unless I choose to get breast reduction surgery. I hate it. I hate it so much. Not the corset, that is, my chest. My aunt and I have a serious issue where whenever either of us wants to eat, we have to deal with the fact that it's more than likely that certain things are going to get in the way of that being simple. Those come around here before they start flaring out. Always the edges of the sleeves, though, that kind of catch me. Hiccups. I'm also realizing I may have drawn this a little too short. Or not too short, too long. Alright. Erasing that lightly. There we go. And then again, like, this is a smaller sketch. It's going to be stretched to fill that entire canvas. And I am going to be going over it again with another color. Or not another color. I forget how my own process works sometimes. It's a miracle I even remember how to draw human anatomy. I didn't even see how I drew these eyes when... Oh wait, I can now. I think I drew her with a lot more rounded features than I remember drawing. I mean, I also did consider drawing something else, largely because I remember this character having, like, paper white skin simply just to fit in with the ice theme. If you look at almost any of my other characters, they tend to lean more towards being me-colored. I will say that my lack of trust in other people to get my skin tone correct is part of why I refuse to hire anyone to draw my own character. Because I've heard of people having issues where people are going for or quote-unquote going for a vibe, except that vibe is taking a person of color and making them white. Which is kind of the opposite of a vibe to me, especially when, one, you don't own that character, and two, that character is owned by a private, is not exactly a part of a public project. How else? They're not owned by a corporation. They're owned by an individual. Almost all of my characters are people of color. I'm going to throw hands if I see someone make them white for no reason other than they were quote-unquote going for a vibe, because just disappointment. Like, no, you don't. Oh, hey, since. Heyo, how are you doing? Now, I'm just going on a rant about how I don't trust very many people. Still single, but I'm still also freezing cold. Never let your enemy know your next move, even if you're cold. Oh no, I was actually ranting about how I've heard enough horror stories about how people have commissioned other people to draw their characters for them, only for their character's entire personality to be wiped away for quote-unquote going for a vibe. I'm not kidding. I've been in Discord servers with a few friends, and they've talked about that exact problem. Like, they've had a character with tan skin, and then for some reason, they commission someone to make art of their character, and next thing you know, they're looking at a white person who's not even their character. Like, what the heck? No, I was largely talking about why I've just not, why I've generally just kind of refused to commission someone to make my own VTuber model. I literally chose to do this myself because I just did not want to deal with the possibility of that happening. I'm not gonna say that I'm the best artist, but oh yeah, that is completely fair. But I've spent a lot of time just learning how to draw. I mean, I actually started drawing just because it was technically a required class at the middle school I went to. Like, everyone was required to take art. But I will say that it was fun because the 8th graders did get to do some wood burning art. I'm pretty sure I still have that somewhere. I don't remember where, though. I think my mom has it, though. I've been drawing for, I think... I've been drawing for more than 10 years. I mean, I was kind of on and off in high school. I think it's actually more recently that I've done anywhere near decently skilled. I mean, I'm not drawing Mona Lisas, but I am having fun either way. My main issue now is just like drawing hands, if you couldn't tell. And now I've just only found more and more motives to just continue learning to draw art on my own. Oh yeah, I mean, then again, like, humans are simultaneously easier and harder to draw because they're easier because you have a reference with you 24/7, aka yourself. But at the same time, it's also a lot easier to pick up and tell, to look at something and go, that doesn't look right, and then spend hours agonizing over what exactly it is that is causing you to think it doesn't look right. Where the heck is canvas? I probably should have horizontally. All I know is that this is one of the easier ways to tell whether or not it looks wrong. But then again, that's also something you can only really do if you're working on a digital canvas. One of my friends who's talked to me about trying to get into digital art has told me that I mean, he is a traditional artist, so I completely understand his reservations about it. But then again, like, digital art and traditional art, while the core principles are the same, feel like two completely different beasts, considering that, one, there's a higher threshold for skill. Or at least, one feels like there's a higher threshold and higher expectation attached to it. I forgot that I also have those shortcuts built into it. Oh yeah, and the other thing I forgot was to draw the crown thing that I made. I mean, then again, I kind of also... I'm just going to say that, just a quick reminder, this is a character that I made a while ago. And by a while ago, I mean 2 years ago when I was just throwing stuff at a page to see what I thought looked cool. I mean, then again, for me, art has largely just been a bit of a fun thing. Kind of. I don't really remember what exactly was the entire idea I had going into it. All I know is that the only reason why I decided now's a great time to redraw this character is because I was complaining about how cold outside it was while waiting for a bus just so I could come back to my room and draw. I went, you know what would be fun? Redrawing this ice-themed character that I genuinely don't remember the original circumstances for her creation. All I know is that here I am now. I think my original motive was trying to understand how to draw curls or something. I don't recall the rest offhand. For me, someone who was born and raised in Texas, it is currently 25 degrees outside with wind chill. So, needless to say, very cold. Oh, 25 degrees Fahrenheit. That would be... I know it's below 0 in Celsius. Let's see. It would be... 8 divided by 9... Wait, no. It's minus 48. Ah, negative 3C. Yeah. All I knew is that it was definitely below 0 because it was below 32 degrees Fahrenheit. Thank you for doing the math. I didn't remember the conversion formula. Ah, 17 degrees. Oh, 17. Yeah, that would definitely be cold. I am not a happy camper in cold weather. What I will say though is that my previous roommate, I think she was from the. Sorry, I know she's from the UK, but the only complaint I had with her was literally leaving the window open just to let the breeze in, even though I was freezing. Like, I did not want to get out of bed levels of cold because I was buried under so many blankets. How is Central Europe? I wanted to go, but I've just never had the time or the budget to travel. I mean, I do know my school does have a few different trips that do go to Central Europe. What I will say is that I'm probably not going to visit France anytime soon. My mom, she doesn't really like it, and I don't really blame her considering that the school trip she went there when she was really young, they somehow ended up staying at a really terrible... sorry about the swear filter. I kind of prefer to avoid swearing. No, it was actually really more an issue with the person who ran the hotel. I'm just... Oh, no worries. All I know is that sometimes I'm in the mood for swearing, sometimes I'm not. Most of the time, I'm just not. But I totally get people who want to swear. Usually I end up asking whoever I'm hanging out with if they're cool with swearing or not. I've just never been someone who cared strongly one way or the other. Going to call that bill because I don't want to deal with the question of how much space does that take up. Now, what I'm doing right now though is just kind of cleaning up the sketch. I swear, 2010 era YouTube is just a completely different beast. 20... I grew up on 2010 and YouTube, and let's just say there are certain videos that you probably should not be watching as a 13-year-old that you end up finding as a 13-year-old, and you keep watching them anyways. Did I particularly care? No, not really. Was it a bad idea? Definitely. But what can you do when you are 13 and curious about all sorts of horror-related genres? Unrestricted internet. No, that's how I end up... You know, having unrestricted access to the internet at the age of 13 is how I end up getting sucked into creepypastas for the longest time. I mean, I still love horror on occasion, it's just I'm a bit more picky and choosy about it. I will say, as of late, I've found a few things that have piqued my interest in horror lately. One of them being Emesis Blue, which I think I only really learned about because Valve finally updated the final comic. They released Comic 7. Unfortunately, I'm still terrible at first-person shooters. Oh, I'm okay sometimes. It's just that most of the time, I think I'm terrible at positioning. Oh yeah, I'll be honest, watching people play horror games is just funny. Probably because I don't have to deal with the problems they're dealing with. Then again, I suppose some people can also describe me as a morbid person, considering I'm basically known as that person who walks around with a skull in their pocket. I'm not kidding. All I know is that there are more and more people growing up with unrestricted internet access, and I'm not sure if humanity is going to be better or worse because of it. Probably both. Yeah, certain sides of the internet have definitely become a lot more soft, and I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing. It's probably both, because on the one hand, children are probably less likely to find things they shouldn't. On the other hand, they're less likely to find things they should. Well, I say should as a very loose thing. I mean things that would probably break them out, make them question whether or not what they learned from certain people is a really good attitude to have. Because the thing is, I'm probably a bit more willing to approach things with an open mind, but that's more just a me thing in general, because I have a tendency to just go down rabbit holes that just happen to fascinate me. I want to say the biggest rabbit hole I ever followed was just entirely related to the fact that my forensics teacher in high school kind of got me hooked on forensic files. And next thing I know, I'm somehow learning a metric ton of information about plane crashes. And next thing I know, I'm learning how planes work. Oh, forensics? That is basically a term to describe the science of investigating crimes. The way that forensics works is... I mean, then again, there's like a whole entire different subgenres, but almost anything related to forensics typically has to do with solving crime. I genuinely don't know why we had that class in high school. The main teacher was the chemistry teacher. I think it was just because it was an interest of hers. She literally told us a story about how she was invited to watch a person get autopsied. They thought it was just a general accidental death case. That turned into a crime investigation. I'm not kidding you. I'm not kidding. I don't really know, I don't know the specifics of that case. All I know is that, she was told that she had to keep quiet about, what she saw because the forensic examination turned into a crime investigation. How the heck do I draw hands? I hate drawing hands. They're so annoying. Actually, they were surprisingly tame for... I mean, we weren't looking at actual crime scenes, but we were learning a lot of what I thought was really cool stuff. Like, it's a lot less, messed up than you'd think it'd be. Then again, I went to a Catholic school, and apparently none of the any of the alleged bigotry sticks I was supposed to swallow never got lodged correctly, so I don't know what happened there either. I'm not going to question it. How the heck did I draw this hand? I'm so confused. How do you draw hands? Okay, I'm going to make a separate term. Unfortunately, I'm looking at my own reference and I am still struggling. I'm just gonna sketch out a completely... No, I want my hand. I want that layer. Give me that layer back. Okay, it would help if I was using the correct brush to begin with. Because I understand the fundamentals of how to draw a hand. I just can't draw the fingers, which is the main problem. Like, I can get the shape of what I want, but I can't draw the individual fingers. I don't even know if that's correct. That's a skeleton I'm working with. What the? Oh, I'm not even working on the right layer. Okay, I think it might be easier if I work backwards instead of forwards, because then things become a lot less hard to read. Is that correct? I don't even know. I mean, at least the thumb looks okay. Why are her hands so weird? You know what I forgot to do before I started? I forgot to get a glass of water. And now I can't tell which leg I put in front. I think it was this leg, which I clearly did not illustrate correctly in the sketch. Hey, actually no, I'm technically still in the sketch, so it doesn't matter all that much. I know is that I'm still debating whether or not I use more textures, at least for the shading portion of this, or if I go with the other stained glass stained glass style that I'm experimenting with. All I know is that spring break is coming up for me, so after I finish exams, so I can probably stream more often. Because half of why I've just not streamed all that much lately is literally because I've been busy. Largely with projects that are just entirely related to research and capstones. And I'm getting one more capstone project to work with after my second to last, well, actually no. The other I have so many long-term projects this semester that it is feeling a little unbelievable at this point. But that's just largely because of what they are. Network programming, I'm working with a group of people to basically not only get, what's it called? I'm working to not only get like a sort of chat messaging server thing running, but we're also expected to program like playable games into it. I think the ones that we were talking about were like poker or something. The other thing that I'm working on is a fitness application for my capstone software engineering project. And that is going kind of wonderfully, considering that while we had originally agreed on building a website so that everyone could work on it, we're halfway through the semester, only 3 people can work on it, and the other 3 of us are still struggling to even get started on it because we switched from working on a web app to working on iOS, and only 2 people have Macs. Because here's the thing. You need Xcode to compile Swift code, which is what iOS software runs on. And you can only get Xcode on Mac OS devices. I tried seeing if I could download it to my iPad. I couldn't. So I've been more or less stuck in limbo trying to get a virtual machine running just so I can try running the software. Or just so I can try running, what's it called? A Mac. I'm still trying to figure out how I can get Xcode running on a Linux box, because the only other thing I can work off of is a Windows machine, which is definitely not going to work or cut it. Or at least it's not going to cut it for our purposes. Here's my phone so I can double check my own reference. Because there is a bit of detailing I forgot to add on the boots. This is approximately center. So this comes out that. And these dip down like that. I don't remember what exactly inspired the original design. All I know is that I had fun making it. That is a bit too off to the side for other one to be seen that easily. The other thing I forgot was to add the cape. I know Edna mode said no capes, but this is a fun cape. And villains... Well, actually, I don't even know if I designed this character to be a villain. I just knew I wanted a big, billowy winter cloak thing. Just a little bit of doodly texture there. I think I'm gonna take a quick BRB just to get some water. I mean, I don't have to sing at all tomorrow, which is a plus. But I am going to at the very least have to talk to people, so quick BRB. Nah. Okay, I need to disconnect and reconnect my iPad again. Gosh dang it. Let's see. This always happens when I let it turn off. I need to restart, like, half of it. Switch over to this so you can see that I am back. Okay, let's see. Here. Please load. Gosh dang it. I hate it when this happens. This is one of the fun things, which is... Okay, there it is. Sometimes it can be a little buggy, but hey, that's what happens when you're relying on software you didn't exactly write, but was written by people who probably know a little more than you and don't write spaghetti code on a regular basis. On the downside, it is still lagging. It is only capturing... Why is that bar a lot lower than I remember it being? Because I feel like it's cutting... Okay, it is cutting off part of it. Ah, fudge. I think I'm gonna have to just leave it like that because there's only so much I can do. Full screen it. Okay, I think that's about as good as it's probably going to get. Because I can only resize the output of it so much before it just does not look good at all. Also, I hate how one shoe looks significantly less awkward or significantly better than the other. I think I'm gonna cut this off here a little. There we go. So now that feels a little too tall. There we go. Now to sketch out the little snowflake thingy. I may or may not have an obsession with drawing diamond-shaped objects. And again, you can probably tell by how I design my VTuber model. Probably, you know what would be funny if I started drawing the hand unicorn that I joked about making a while ago. What I know is that, looking at some aspects of my avatar, there are definitely a lot of things that I'm looking at now that I really kind of wish I did fix, one of which being just how I did the shadows, because I'll be honest, they're kind of terrible. I think the next model I might make a cel-shaded one. Alright. Does look decent. There are only like small aspects of the hair that I kind of just am not enjoying. Of course, the next question becomes, do I want to draw the silly crown that I made that I'll be honest, I think it looks dumb. Get in the eyes. At this stage I should probably have a reference thing open. Why is it upside down? Gosh dang it. I hate it when that happens. I'm gonna exit that and then come back into it. And now it's sideways. Why can you not display normally? And I can't even rotate it, gosh dang it. I hate it when that happens. This eye. That is clearly not going to fix itself anytime soon. That is one of the annoying things that I don't think is going to get fixed anytime soon. Okay, that is kind of too thick over there. Alright, there we go. I like that a lot better. Can smooth that out a little. Now to draw in the little lashes. I know that I do have a few ideas of what I want to do in the coming weeks. I might goof around more with trying, if I can figure out to get game engine, not game engine, Adventure Game Studio working on... If I can figure out how to get Adventure Game Studio working on Linux, I might mess around with that. The only problem with Adventure Game Studio is just how the file management works, which is that you can't really save individual files. Because if you change one file, it affects everything. But I think that's just a quirk of the engine. It's not really something that lends itself all that well to multiple people working on it, unless the multiple things you're working on are individual assets with one person doing most of the programming. Or at least that's how my indie game dev class final went. Boom. Why is curly hair so hard to draw? I will never know. Probably because I just don't have that much practice in it. I imagine people who have practice drawing curly hair find it incredibly easy. I know vaguely how to do it, it's just the fine details that trip me up. Like that. Then again, I'm also someone who's like tried curling my hair a few times, and more often than not, it goes horribly. It's either that or I just completely lose patience. Most of the time, it's just I lost my patience. Then again, I also do have a lot of hair. I've been growing it out for the past 6 years now. And the only reason why I haven't condonated it like I kind of originally planned on doing was because I discovered my love of hair sticks. And unfortunately, hair sticks don't exactly do short hair that well. Or at least I haven't found any that do short hair well. Fine hair, definitely, but not short hair. One of my grandmothers says that she thinks short hair would look better on me, but I'm of the opinion that I like my long hair, and I'm also realizing I forgot to draw in the eyebrows, so quick fix of that real quick. Probably zoom out just to make sure I can barely see it. And that little technique though was actually something I took from, from someone else's art tutorial videos. I'm on the right color. But basically the idea was that, I think it was like a line art video that I was watching, because I was struggling a lot with my line art at the time, or at least making line art at the time. But basically, the entire theory behind it was that line art does not necessarily have to 100% follow the sketch, so the easiest way to get the exact same kind of feeling freeing that you get when you're sketching that you don't get when you're doing line art is to turn down the opacity of the sketch so low that you can't even see, that you can only see it if you're zoomed in. Or at least you can only really see it if you're zoomed in. And I will say that tip did actually help me a lot, because each sketch kind of felt more independent of the previous sketch. Like, it wasn't just simply a continuation of what was already being done. Or at least tracing what had already been done. Because, in essence, the previous sketch just became a guide. Instead of something I had to strictly follow or perish. I mean, sometimes I do have to turn up the opacity a little just because I couldn't tell what the heck I did. But it definitely did make line art a lot easier. The other thing I did was stop trying to go for like super tiny, hyper detailed line art because, quite frankly, I just have a hard time with that. It's either that or I started having a hard time with that after I finally replaced the nib on my pencil. Let's just say I'm pretty sure the tip on that one had been going for about 4 years. Gosh dang it. Spilled water on my pants. Yeah, right now the other problem I'm dealing with is that I keep on feeling like I have joints I need to pop, but they're not popping no matter how aggressively I try and do that. I was talking to my grandmother about it last night. She said I should probably hop in the shower or something, see if that helped. I mean, then again, the way I did describe the problem to her was as, like, feeling incredibly sore. Which, to be fair, I'm pretty sure that actually would help. The only reason why I hadn't was because I showered literally the day before. Probably could have done it this morning, but the thing is, I was cold and didn't want to get out of bed. But by the time I got out of bed, I already had something else I needed to do. So, oh well. Hey, that... Then again, I'm also a person who prefers to shower in the evenings. Just trying to make this look as fluffy as possible. Fuzzy. I don't know what the proper term would be to describe it. All I know is that the first few times that I attempted to make something that was, let's just say I wasn't always great at certain detailing. I mean, I actually have spent a bit more time having fun with textures whenever I am doing backgrounds. I will say though, backgrounds are the bane of my existence most of the time because I'm literally pulling some of the pieces that I make. Some of the final pieces I make, I literally just pulled from a long-running sketchbook type thing that I usually keep largely for warm-up drawings. Because apparently you are supposed to do those. I don't know why most of the time they just end up being my characters, because that's usually what I'm thinking about at any given time. I mean, then again, art is largely about drawing what you love, so if you enjoy drawing your characters, go off, I guess. I have considered drawing fan art, but I've not really seen any characters that I felt strongly enough for to actually draw personally. Or if I have, I haven't really considered, I just have not found something I'd feel really interested in just completing. Then again, there's a reason why I've labeled these streams as my ever-growing pile of WIPS. Of works in progress. Because more often than not, I will not be filled. Because more often than not, I end up starting on something that either, if I do finish, it never gets shared. There are at least 2 pieces that I have that I finished, and I will probably not ever share again. Because while they were good, well, I think, like, technical-wise, they were good. Character design-wise, I think they were awful. And I just did not think that they were worth sharing. I mean, if you're someone who's okay with sharing your fails, that's entirely on you. I might show them, I might not. It's just that I just didn't enjoy them as much as I thought I would. Or at least I did not enjoy the design as much as as cool as I thought it was in the moment. I might eventually post at least the time-lapse of them, but that would probably be the extent of it. Because I did not consider them to be overall that great quality-wise. That hand is horrible. Okay, I think that's okay. Now we're on the other nightmare eventually. I'm sorry, that one was just bothering me a little. Several aspects of this are just bothering me a little. Fingers, why do I despise? Why are you so annoying? I thought I had this worked out. No, I don't. Why are fingers so annoying to draw? They look fine, and then suddenly they just don't. Why? You'd think you understand them, and suddenly they turn into weird sausage. I don't understand. Is it because I think I made this hand weirdly big? No, I need to. Why does the palm feel so awkwardly big? The proportions of the hand are just throwing me off so much and I hate it. I swear, I need to spend at least part of my week doing hand studies, because otherwise I don't think I'm ever going to get anywhere near decent at them. I mean, I guess that hand doesn't look as bad from far away. This one is still annoying me in a way I don't know how to describe. I mean, technically the fingers are the right length, it just feels oddly large. This side, I think is this at most will curve a little. What I will say is that I am technically referencing, a garment that I do happen to have, and wear often. Alright, there we go. Dang. Gosh dang it. Ah! Come on. There we go. Probably should have, probably could have zoomed in a little more to fix that. All I know is that when I go in to do the actual line art, I'm probably gonna have to actually turn that in one smooth stroke, which is really going to be annoying. My ears are just really itchy right now. I mean my human ears, not the ones on my avatar. On my VTuber model. Doo-doo-doo-doo. You know what I really want to do at some point in time? Dragging a bunch of VTubers to play like Gartic Phone or something. Actually, no, not even VTubers. I just want to have friends to play Gartic Phone. Every time I go to say Gartic Phone, I'm inclined to say Garlic Phone just because, one, funny, and two, most of the time my mind is on garlic because I like making mashed potatoes whenever I do have potatoes on hand. Actually, no, not even just potatoes. I like making chips. I will use garlic powder on them sometimes. A lot of the recipes I end up using garlic in some way, shape, or form. So it's just my brain is near constantly thinking about garlic. Especially when it comes to cooking. I think Gartic Phone, for some reason, my brain goes to garlic. I really want to play Gartic Phone again at some point in time. Especially since, like, the last time I played, I ended up drawing a few, It was on a roleplay server that I honestly kind of just left because I didn't exactly jive with everyone's opinion. Then again, I'm also someone who tends to enjoy a lot of stuff, even if other people criticize it. Because yes, I can acknowledge criticism, but sometimes it feels like they're criticizing it just to criticize it. Then again, that's just my opinion as someone who enjoys learning about different things. Like some of the things that they're talking about, it just might not be their cup of tea, but they're acting like if you disagree with them, you've disagreed with the correct opinion. Which is also one of the many reasons why I choose to stay out of politics. Because at the end of the day, I kind of disagree with both sides on several different things. And for anyone who isn't exactly understanding what I'm saying when I say both sides, I'm largely referring to American politics, which is its own cluster of a disaster. That I do not want to touch with a 10-foot pole. And that is all I am going to say on that matter. What I will, however, continuously criticize is drawing a person of color as a white person and then excusing yourself by saying you were going for a vibe. And I don't mean lightening a character's skin color because you're trying to work with a pastel color palette. I'll be honest, trying to get any kind of dark color in a pastel palette is probably pretty hard, which is why I don't work with pastels. Or at least never, which is why I prefer working with whatever color palette I'm given. But I mean characters who will take a character who obviously has a hair color that isn't blonde, like a brown hair color, and then for some reason that character now has blonde, they have blonde or black hair, green eyes, brown eyes, basically any eye color that isn't blue, and the next thing you know, you're looking at that character and they said they were going for a vibe, except for some reason that vibe is a white person wearing your character's clothes. That's not a vibe, that's just saying, well, I think you suck at character design, it should be a white person. Like, that is one thing that I will consistently criticize people over. It's why I don't really participate in certain, what's it called? Why I don't participate in certain, like, what's it called, art wars or something? Because apparently there have just been issues where people will take other people's OCs and say they're going for a vibe for them, and instead of actually drawing their character, they're drawing someone else cosplaying as that character. I don't really have a problem with saying that, just don't say you're drawing the character, say you're drawing someone cosplaying as that character. Because at least it wouldn't feel like you're just insulting someone for, I'll be honest, incredibly dumb reasons. I mean, technically there is another end of this issue that I'm talking about that I feel like I don't really have much to speak on. Because one, while I am a person of color, I am not of African American descent. And I'm gonna say that is an issue that blackwashing is not something I know much about. I'm not really engaged with it. I'm just more annoyed with the biggest reason why I spent forever debating on whether or not I even wanted to post my art to places like Instagram and Twitter is because I just didn't want to get accused of doing horrible things because, or at least not drawing certain character traits correctly because, I don't know, for some reason someone thought I was trying to draw a character of a different race than I am. I mean, I have tried drawing horsey hair. I'll be honest, I'm not great at it. I'm probably never going to share any of those studies. But that's largely because I just don't know what I'm doing. I've tried learning. I think I have like one piece that turned out okay, but that was actually for a completely unrelated project. That was entirely related to a video game dev project that I kind of really wish that didn't get canceled. Because I was actually proud of what I was able to draw. And I was also using several IRL friends as references for how to for certain things that I was struggling to draw. All I know is that at the end of the day, I'm just one of those people who've just been on a weird gray area on something that a lot of people insist would probably be a black and white issue. Because here's the thing, life is messy. By existing with the human condition, you're asking to deal with all sorts of ambiguities and gray areas that are just icky to work around. I mean, there are some things that are just objectively wrong, like taking people's work without their permission, or other certain indecent acts, but I hate to say it, it is just a weird gray area that you can only really begin to understand where you land on it just by talking to people on both sides. And unfortunately, I'm kind of someone who kind of exists on both sides, because on the one hand, I understand where the other side is coming from, but on the other, I kind of feel like, I'm sorry, your backstory does not mean you are allowed to just come and take stuff that belongs to other people. Or just do horrible things in general. It provides a reason for why you think it's okay to do these things, but that does not make doing those things any better. I think that looks okay. Alright, on to the hard part of this, which is this little snowflake thing that I drew that I don't even... Real question is, can I even draw a snowflake? I mean, then again, I drew this thing without any form of real guidelines, so I'm just expecting it to come out as all sorts of janky. Okay, I think that looks good. The reference looked correct when I turned it on. It's still sideways! Yay! For anyone who couldn't... Did I have all those selected this entire time? I think I did. That's strange. Anyways, on to a slightly harder part now, aka my least favorite part, aka line art. Now, it's a sticky sketch. Alright, I'm gonna do what I normally do and start with doing the eyes. And I think I've kind of just started making the eyes a part of the actual color work, because I've almost always drawn them on their own individual layer separate from the rest of the line art. Because I've also kind of started doing the irises without, or not iris. Is it iris? I think it is irises. I've kind of just started drawing the eyes without any line art in them. All I know is that lately I've kind of just been going back through my YouTube history and just finding all sorts of stuff that I enjoyed from a really long time ago. One of which being TF2, Force related stuff. Recently I watched Emesis Blue, which was really fun to watch, and I think I might look more into the horror genre a lot more. As I have become a bit more of a morbid person, but then again, you're talking to someone who regularly walks around with a skull in their pocket, and I've literally joked with one of the reverends at my school. Apparently several people have just left stuffed animals behind. I joked that when on my final day I'm leaving a skull behind. For the record, it would be a little paper mache skull, although I have considered making one out of fabric because I only really have one more left, and it is, I'll be honest, that one is a little crudely made, and I'm not that proud of it. That made too many. Decrease the opacity of that. Toss it down here because that's going with colors later. I'm gonna pop that off. Because I'll be honest, I've had a lot more, for big pieces like this, I've had a lot more difficult of a time getting that brushstroke kind of consistent. Although I'm definitely never going to be making anything that requires as much detail as that. I think part of it is also I'm still trying to get used to the change in pressure sensitivity, because sometimes it works well, sometimes it feels more annoying, and I'm still fine-tuning certain aspects of it. So what did work previously sometimes will not work. Half of art is just experimenting, I guess. Of course, I also have to switch to this brush to fix line art issues. The one down here. See this little line consistency thing? That's like one of the issues I've had in the past with line art. And I think part of it was also because I was not applying enough pressure in the past to get a differentiated line, to where I've had to like mess around with sensitivity options, or at least line weight sensitivity. Because there are times where I've had to go back in and erase certain chunks to redraw them. And I don't know if it's just like related to line weight smoothing that I messed around with or something else. Last time I did a piece like this, I think this brush felt like it was way too thin for whatever I was trying to do. So I think either I was messing around with where I have these set up, because I'm pretty sure this is like somewhere around, yeah, I think it was somewhere around there that I was having trouble. I think I also stopped setting this to like 0 to 100% in terms of size, because I think that was one of the things that was giving me the most issues. Going full 100%. That is. Alright, this is one of the areas where kind of just line art can get a little annoying. And that is in just how certain things overlap with things that need to be colored. Which is why on occasion I'll have like this be above that, and other times I won't. Because I actually have drawn, anytime I've had to do like glasses or anything, I have literally just drawn them on their own separate layer, similar to how I would if I were working on a PNG tuber. Gosh dang it, I hate it. Especially after a nice stroke like that, and didn't even connect. Okay, there we go, that looks a lot. That looks decent. I'll take it. I guess the other part I've kind of struggled a little bit with is drawing ears. Especially in a way that doesn't feel too incredibly off from how I draw everything else. Clean up these lines a little. Oh, what did I undo? Oh, gosh dang it. I really need to find my art gloves, because I swear I had like a pack of like four or six, and all of them have gone missing. Thing is, I haven't even shared them with people, so I have no idea where they could have gone. probably should at least start inking more of the sketches I have in my not sketchbook, just so I can have more practice doing line art related things. That definitely needs cleaning up. There we go. And I don't know why it sometimes launches me that far back out like that. I think it is a setting. All I know is that apparently one of the AirPlay issues I had was actually it basically getting locked in a mode where you'd only be able to see the canvas and not me zooming in and working with it. From what I understand, that was... Wait, why did it drift all the way over? Oh, I forgot to fix that. That was embarrassing. All I know is that, like, a tiny portion of the screen is unfortunately just getting cut off. I've not found a way to fix that, so it is something I'm just going to have to live with. Ah, there we go. That's fixed. Kind of. I think that still looks okay in terms of, like, goofiness. I don't really know. I don't even know how to even describe what I intended to draw here. I think it was supposed to be like a fur collar or something. I've not had the best time trying to draw anything vaguely furry or fluffy or whatever you want to call, whatever term you want to use. I mean, I do understand the principles of how to draw it. It's just that I think for whatever reason, whenever I do try, line art at least tends to come out looking more like incredibly amateurish clouds. Or at least certain parts of it come out looking like that. I forgot to draw an entire section on line art, or not line art, sketch. I'll just work with that. I already have it. I don't... Whatever. Oh, yeah, and I don't think I have very much smoothing on this, on at least this pen, pencil, whatever you want to call it. I don't even know how to draw this. Why did I draw? Why did I even give a window on the original design? I don't understand where my brain cell was. It obviously wasn't working. I think I was just looking at other designs and, well, they did it, I guess I have to do it, and why? I can't even draw it that well. You know, you can just use your imagination. I can't with this. And then again, I didn't exactly draw in a way that would show all that well to begin with, I think. There we go. I think I'm probably gonna stop here for tonight because I still have to do some studying for tomorrow, so thank you for sitting with me through like technical difficulties. I only really wanted to go for like 2 hours. And I will hopefully be streaming a lot more next week between other things that I'm trying to work on. Anyways, see y'all later.